Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are in the world. You see, my dog and Burn seems to have a mind of its own, my delicious little baby, so I don't even have to press the record. It just, that's why you probably seen on my videos of late. It's like I never know when it's going to flipping start. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, not to worry, not to worry. It's one of those things, isn't it, with these dog and Burns, my delicious little babies. Now then, so we've got a very dull grey sky outside, my delicious little babies, at 10 past 11 a.m. in our old England, my delicious little babies. There is a bit of sunshine and there's certainly some wind, okay, my delicious little babies. And that's the weather forecast. Now, apparently it's 18 today, my delicious little babies. What's that, 18 karat gold? Now then, my delicious little babies. So 3, 2, 1, my juice little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Just remember what I said, gold dust, So sometimes it's wherever the wind may blow. Sometimes it can, there we are, blow dust, isn't it? Now then, my delicious little babies. So what have I got to say to you today? Right, well, number one, I've got a problem with me flipping data on my dog and Burn, my delicious little babies. I've been experiencing this now for some days. I have spoken, sorry, to my stumble there, not changing my video. I have spoken to my provider, because after all, we all have a provider, don't we, my delicious little babies? And, well, basically what it is, I pay monthly. Okay, so I pay 10 ka-ching monthly, my delicious little babies, okay? And then, of course, with my internet and my landline, I pay separately. Well, this is costing myself nearly 80 ka-ching a month, my delicious little babies, okay? I've got the flipping internet playing up, okay? My delicious little babies keeps telling me I'm offline. Then I've been told I've got no data. Okay, so no data at all, my delicious little babies, so no input there. And then basically, you see the 10 ka-ching, what that does, I send some messages if somebody messages myself, right? That's all, there we are. That's all damn well common sense, isn't it? Okay? But what it is, so I wasn't being, you know what I mean. Anyway, my delicious little babies, okay? So what they're basically saying is, and I hardly use my dog and Bone to make calls. And there we are. And that is the truth, my delicious little babies. I just do not, okay? So I'll probably use what? Not even 300 minutes a month. Okay, my delicious little babies. I just do not. The majority of the time I do not take my dog and Bone out with me. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So it's only at selected times that I do, okay? Because I love to be in nature. And, well, basically, I just don't want to be trapped flipping where I damn well go. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies. After all, I've been experiencing that. It's gone quiet at the moment, my delicious little babies, but I've certainly been experiencing this now for flipping months and months and months. Anyway, fast forward. So now, what my provider's wanting me to do, my delicious little babies, is to pay more. That doesn't mean no, just got an itch. Is to pay more each month so that I can have more data. Well, here's what I'm done asking now. So I'm not shouting at you, my delicious little babies, right? It's peeing me off. Why should I have to pay more data? I've already got my internet in here and my landline, right? So therefore, I should be able to look at YouTube videos and anything like that now then, and not have any issues, okay? But what they're saying is then you have to pay an extra, I don't know how much it is, 15 squids ka-ching, you know what I mean? And then you get up to 50 data. So the point is, there we are, before I even say it, where does this effing end, man? Do you see what I mean? Okay, so how's this rocking and rolling then? So you're paying for the data, but I'm using less calls and not sending many messages. So how does that all work then? Ding, ding, dong, dong. I'm just asking with my noddle. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting nothing across my shoulders. I would say, there we are, we've been effing scammed continuously, my delicious little babies anyway. So I said, no. I said, I'm not paying more this month. I said, why should I pay more? Right. Well, basically, when it should be, there we are, covered anyway. But it's peeing me off, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? Oh, and what my provider's answer was to all of this, they said, well, the streams and everything on YouTube is much better quality. I said, no. Sorry, I'm not saying that about anybody's videos, okay? What I'm saying is, I said, hold on a minute. I said, this has only come in a recent time. So I'm pretty sure it's not just myself who's suffering, my delicious little babies. And for anybody out there who does happen to be suffering, I feel so very sorry for you, okay? Because for myself, I like to give out my videos as a hobby. Do you know what I mean? I just do it, there we are, as a hobby. Plus the fact, well, like I said from the beginning, I see what's been going on in the world, and it's, there we are, effing putrid. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, so that's that. So I'm pretty sure that I'll be sorting out my data next month, my delicious little babies. But it's just peeing me off. I shouldn't have to do this now. And what I'm also going to try and do is reduce my to do my internet and my landline, because I do not even use my landline, but I like it to be there. There we are. I like it to be there just for in case. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes, okay. So like that's that now. Then now there was something else that I wanted to say. So that's that situation. Oh yeah, and then something else I want to say. So on our road, further on down on our road, so there is this beautiful little pussycat's gone missing. He's been away now. Is it nearly 3 weeks? We do not know where he is, my delicious babies. But across the road from the dear earner now, bless, and I keep willing for him to come back. Please come back, little baby. He's so beautiful. He's 12. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I want him to be returned. I'm hoping that nobody has lifted him. Okay, my delicious babies. But just across the road from there, they had 9 cats. So I think 3 of those have gone missing as well, my delicious little babies. So what's going on here now then? I'm wondering, my delicious little babies, okay? So like, that's that situation. So I just thought I'd mention it. There was something else I wanted to mention, I'm pretty sure. It'll come back to me, my delicious little babies, okay? It's just that, there we are. It's just that my noddle is filled with so many things, you see what I mean? Yeah, oh, that's another thing I want to say. And what it is, you've got... I've noticed that things are rather colourful, aren't they? My delicious little babies, like orange and blue. Yeah, there we are. I'm noticing that rather a lot lately. My delicious little babies, orange and blue, yeah. Anyway, my delicious little babies now then. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bits of information today, my delicious little babies. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. So I think I've got about 12 hours to go. 12 hours to go, my delicious little babies. I never realised this was it till the early hours of this morning. Apparently, I'm not allowed to send a comment, so I'm up to about 12 hours. I've got to wait now. So to send any comment on YouTube, my delicious little babies, YouTube have decided, haven't you, YouTube, that just to keep the community safe, they have detected a comment that I have sent. So what is that then? If I say dear, and there's only one channel that I can spare a thought of. There we are, where I probably say a bit more. But as far as I'm concerned, YouTube, I'm not saying anything I do not feel that is bad. So what? So the community has to be kept safe from myself. What is this all about, YouTube? Do you know what I mean? We keep hearing this word being thrown about. We've got to be kept safe. We've got to be kept safe. Just like with the old effing pandemic. We've got to be, there we are, kept safe. We've got to keep Granny safe. Do you know what I mean, my little babies? It's peeing me right off. So YouTube, I don't know whatever crack you're up to. So everybody, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to post my video today, okay? I'm doing it to you all now, my little babies. I'm, doing the video now, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to load it up. I'm just not sure because, or if it'll come up as fail. Do you see what I mean? I'm not sure at this moment. Maybe they're sarking themselves up to flipping bang me off for another week, my little babies. Anyway, words are spells, so we'll try and avoid that. Okay, my little babies. Now then, so you're going to see how I'm rocking and rolling this now, my little babies. And by the way, I do not personally feel that I send negative comments. Okay, I usually always send pleasant comments. So I'm going to ask you again, YouTube, what is this about now then? And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. But do you see all my delicious little babies now? There we go. How this rocks and rolls, isn't it? Yes. Anyway, well, you can carry on behind your little keyboards and your AR YouTube, okay? Because at the rate you're going, ones are not going to want to be on your site, are they? YouTube, there we are, at this rate, the way it's going. Okay, no. Anyway, my delicious babies, so this is the first one, and I'm doing it in such a way, okay, my delicious babies, okay, yes. So this first one happens to have 106,000 subscribers, my delicious babies, on YouTube. In the old search engine, spacebar, hear a lot about space, don't we? The rockets that do not seem to get very far, my delicious babies. With all the ka-ching, 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 taxpayers who are paying for a load of shat. Anyway, my delicious babies, capital E, English. So if I'm going to get banged off, there we are. I may as well just be done saying what I've got to say. You see what I mean, okay? So that's that. Right. Capital E, English, space, capital W, Woodman. Woodsman, sorry. Okay, my delicious babies. So it should read English space Woodsman. That's in the older space bar, my delicious babies. Please remember the capital E, capital W. Okay, my delicious babies, and thank you. And it should read, and this is about just over 12 minutes long, my delicious babies. Well, YouTube have taken action. Now, this happened to come up on my feed, and by the way, anybody not in that way, not in that way. So your man there, he's managed to gain himself one of these YouTube plaques, okay, my delicious little babies, okay, which, some, they really strive, two different, accents there. Ones will notice how I've been operating, there we are, for months, okay. I use different accents, okay, my delicious little babies. This has came up on my feed, okay. And he's got this plaque, which he's worked super duper hard for. I seen this yesterday, so this would have been the day before. That doesn't mean no, just got an itch. And what it is, basically, my delicious babies, long and short of it, I do feel he was rather broken-hearted. He was most upset about this because they've given him warnings, okay, my delicious little babies, okay. And what this is to do with, okay, I haven't looked at any other videos, but I am going to mention him, bless him, okay. He's been banged off for a week. So from the time he did that video, he said he was not going to be able to go on for a week, which of course that's upsetting him. And something to do with the hammock that YouTube found offensive for some reason, my delicious little babies, okay. Anyway, if you could please and thank you, take a listen to the video, should anybody have any form of an interest. But I'm sure that he'll be back soon, my delicious little babies. It's important to look at the comments as well. I always say this, my delicious little babies, there we are, comments are important. I am aware that ones cannot always read all of them, neither myself. But at the same time, it's a case of taking ham in pieces, bits and pieces, to take little, there we are, bits and pieces out of what you read. Do you see what I mean? And what you listen to. Do you see what I mean? And what you see. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? So I'm not doing that to be sarcastic. There's a point, there we are, and a method, there we are, to everything that I do. You see? and where they get those silly sayings, there's a method in me madness. Well, there's nothing mad about what I do at all, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But obviously somebody flipping concocts these words, you see what I mean, over the decades. Now then, my delicious little babies. So the next one, okay, okay, yeah. And then I've got the last three, right? So the next one, I've mentioned this dear man before, okay, and like I said, not in that way, okay. And I've seen him before, and I've mentioned him on a couple of my other videos, okay, months ago. But I've got to be honest, he had me howling this morning. I found him utterly flipping hilarious. Do you see what I mean, Martin? Because he's just done saying it, do you know what I mean? And what it is, he's a American Italian, okay, my delicious little babies, okay? And so in the old space bar again, my delicious little babies, capital, sorry, I didn't need to stumble there, capital G, Gerald, okay, then space, Celeste, okay, my delicious little babies, I'm just going to spell out his surname, capital C, Elente. Now, in the mainstream, or that poxy mainstream, or alternative media, for half of theirs poxy, I'm not saying the other half, I'm talking about the other half, they will already know who your man is here now, okay, my delicious little babies. But for some of yourselves, my little beautifuls, you may not know, okay. The video should read, and he's up to 242,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies. War ramping under rule of fools. Yeah. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? War ramping under rule of fools. Why do birds sing so gay? Why do fools fall in love? Yeah. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, so this video now is not long. I think it's just over 20 minutes long or something, okay? Now, for anybody who's not very and by the way, with the two songs that I've just done, it sounds like it's all part of the song, but it's not, okay? There was one singer, and then there was another one, so I went back. There we are, back in time with that one. Okay, my delicious little babies. I've gone back in time with both of them, but there's just a different, do you see what I mean? There we are, okay, my delicious little babies. This here, okay, is flipping hilarious. Now, for those of you who do not like swearing, I'm very sorry, maybe sort of skip the tiny bit at the end, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there's millions in the world who swear. I personally do not see anything wrong with it. However, you will get others who do have a problem with swearing, my delicious little babies. Well, each to their own, isn't it? Whatever floats their boat. Now then, my delicious little babies, he's just done, there we are, telling it the way it is. There we are. He's just done telling it the way it is, okay? And he's just, is it a few days ago, where he did a video with Judge Napoleon. I mentioned him as well months ago, your man there, Judge Napoleon as well, okay? Now, this one that was 3 days ago, okay, between the two of them, there we are. It was a banging video, my delicious little babies, okay? So well worth a listen, but flip me, he is hilarious. But he's done telling the truth, and what he said he's doing, okay, and rightfully so, there we are, is he's calling it out, and he's not happy about the free speech either, my delicious little babies, that we're not allowed to have, okay? So this is affecting, there we are, many, but there's certain now, on old YouTube and other platforms, they can say whatever they like, millions and millions of subscribers and views, and nobody says nothing. But when you're done now, there we are, telling the truth about anything, oh, well, it seems that the platforms are not a-liking. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so what is it? Freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay, and if we actually really look at it, you got some banging uploaders. You really, really have, okay? But they're not allowed to get the voices out. Now, for myself, I'm not interested. I do not mean that nastily, so please do not take me the wrong way now, okay? I'm not interested in all the subscribers, okay? for myself, the views, there we are very important. And also, if somebody likes the video, okay, and the occasional comment, that's more important to myself than subscribers, okay, my delicious little babies, okay, because I'm wanting to get the information out. There we are. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? But I did feel sorry for your man there, the first video that I said, because he's clearly most upset about it. He's clearly, sweated a lot, to get all these videos out. But here's another one. I think he does, I read in one of the comments something about, try not to talk about that or talk about the camping or something. But we're talking about another now. There we are. And it just goes on and on. Do you know what I mean? Because you start out doing one thing, like myself with my readings, and then it goes into something else now then. Do you see what I mean, Martin? Babies, okay? Because when you see what's going on in the world, it's absolutely effing putrid, man. Do you see what I mean, okay? And of course, it's all flipping upside down, backwards and forwards, and flipping round bend like a roller coaster, you know what I mean, Martin? Babies. Anyway, so that's that one. Well worth a listen now. But there we are. He's just done telling it. You know what I mean? It's nothing that I haven't said. Anyway, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Anyway, next one. So these final three, if you could please and thank you. There we are. Please. This is super duper important now, what I'm saying. Okay, my delicious little babies. I'm doing it in an order. Okay, my delicious little babies, please and thank you. Again, should anybody have any form of an interest, and thank you for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comments. It is so, there we are, very much welcomed, and how I continue to love you all so, okay? I know that I go off on one, but I mean, I just actually feel I'm pretty calm at the moment, to be quite honest with you, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? I'm just not going to get myself stressed out. I was flipping stressed with my flipping data and everything, and I couldn't get my flipping internet half the time, you know what I mean? When I'm flipping paying nearly 70 quid a month for that. You see what I mean, my delicious babies? That pees me off. Do you know what I mean? Okay? And then when they want to offer you something else, then they want to take more ka-ching from you. Robbing bees, man. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? So, final three. So this uploader happens to have 1.71 million subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? And it's called Fluctus. In the old space bar, my delicious little babies, let's just go, like a steam train, faster and faster. Capital F, Fluctus. I'll spell it for you. Fluctus. So it's a capital F and the rest is lowercase. The video should read, my delicious little babies, on old YouTube, how Nigeria found a genius solution to recycle millions of used tyres, my delicious little babies, okay? I'll just repeat that again for you, shall I? How Nigeria found a genius solution to recycle millions of used tyres, okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Even with our production, with Dunlop and everything. Now I remember, oh gosh, I'm going back well over a couple of years ago now. I, talked about Dunlop. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, so this is very interesting. I think it's over 22 minutes long, my delicious little babies, okay? Very interesting, okay? I'm always pleased for other countries. There we are, which I am. I'm always really pleased for any other country to find that happiness and to be able to thrive, there we are, and prosper. However, I want our country, England, there we are, to do the same with Ireland, you know what I mean, Scotland and Wales, you know what I mean? So for myself, I want everybody to thrive, but you're thriving to surviving, aren't you, my delicious little babies? Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. Now then, the next video, my delicious little babies, okay? This here happens to have 517,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies. So it's 517,000 subscribers on old YouTube. And it's called capital T, top, space, capital W, works. So it should read as top space works. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? The other that I've just said is Fluctus. Okay, my delicious little babies, that's the video before. Now then, this video should read, amazing method how 24 carat care pure gold extraction from wasted mobile phones, factory mass production. Okay, my delicious babies, and again, this is over 20 minutes long, my delicious babies. Okay, I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Flip me, loads of bags full. There we are, 3 bags full. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Amazing method how 24K pure gold extraction from wasted mobile phones, factory mass production. Yes, my delicious little babies, Kai. Is it in Pakistan, is it? Anyway, my delicious little babies. So anyway, with this video, okay, so you've got the one that I just said, is it the Fluctus one there, okay? They show 3 parts. So they're showing you all to do the tyres, okay, bless. Then they're showing you to do the recycling, okay, which this is to do with Pakistan, okay, my delicious little babies. And then they go to Ireland with the recycling, okay, my delicious little babies. So it's 3 into 1, okay, my delicious little babies, okay. Something I want to just, I'm going to say it in a minute, and then I'm going to end my video to all my delicious babies. So we're going to try not to make it too long today, okay, for you? I mean, you know, some of you must have great patience to listen to myself, my delicious little babies, okay, but I just like to get all the information out that I regard as important, okay, my delicious little babies. Now, yeah, very interesting to watch these videos, my delicious little babies. Now, finally, when I was watching this, it reminded me of Bruno Mars. Mars a day helps you work, rest, and play. Do you remember that? Helps you work, rest, and play. Yeah, when you look at other ingredients, do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? So how can it make you work, rest, and play? My delicious little babies. It's just amazing, the little songs that they came up with over the decades, isn't it, my delicious little babies? But this one here, and it came into my noddle, so it's a case of going back to the year of the, there we are, back to the year of the song, my delicious little babies, okay? But this uploader, and this was uploaded on this channel 4 years, I'm pretty sure 4 years ago, my delicious little babies. This uploader happens to have 1.62 million subscribers, my delicious little babies. So rather a large channel. And the uploader, is called capital M, Mr. Space, capital S, Shades. Okay, my delicious little babies. And the song should read, so it should read Mr. Space Shades. That's the uploader on old YouTube, my delicious little babies. Bruno Mars, 24K Magic lyrics. Okay, my delicious little babies. So I'm just going to repeat that for you, shall I, my delicious little babies? Bruno Mars, 24K Magic lyrics. How's it go? I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up! That one. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up! You know what I mean, my delicious little babies, Kai? What's really important here is the lyrics. They're all important, all the videos, my delicious little babies, but it's super duper, there we are, and deliciously important that you please, see I'm stumbling here, that you please read, there we are, the lyrics. Now I'm going to close my book. Now, what is it that I just wanted to say, okay, because I've got so much in my flipping noddle, okay, so we need to go back to where we need to go back to, my delicious little babies, okay, it's all ticked off. So what ones would see as just being a normal song, my delicious little babies, okay, but I remember going back to that time when this song came out, although I'm a little bit fuzzy with the flipping year at the moment, okay, my delicious little babies, but you need to go back to the year. I should do that when I finish my video, my delicious little babies, okay. I remember at one time that Bruno Mars, there we are, He was like banging, raving. Do you know what I mean? He was everywhere. Okay, mad delicious babies. But I remember looking at the lyrics, there we are, to this song, and I thought there's something else, there we are, in this song. Do you know what I mean? Mad delicious little babies, okay? And I do remember that, you know, when ones had the soft tops with the cars and everything, you know, with the cars, the brum brums, that, you know, they were banging out this tune loud. Do you see what I mean? Mad delicious little babies, okay? The words are very important, the lyrics. So it's not just a song. Now, finally, Mardelicious Little Babies, should anybody have any form of an interest, okay, I've done it in a certain way, okay, Mardelicious Little Babies, okay. Now, you know when we hear everybody rambling on, because we hear it on channel after channel, it's very nauseating, actually. You just want to project in a bucket. Do you see what I mean? Where ones are very quick to have a pop, that's just figure of speech, Mardelicious Little Babies, to have a pop at somebody who does not work. Okay, Mardelicious Little Babies, okay? Well, if you look at, and I want to leave the video like this, and then I'm going to be over and out. Okay, Mardelicious Little Babies. Well, if we look back to the moment that we're brought into the world, okay, it's just something I want to talk about. It's my own thoughts on my own noddle, okay, which I've thought there we are for a long time, okay. So you taught this and you taught that, there we are, then you taught that work is the way. But I'm going to repeat this again. I've said on and off over the months. If you actually look at, and by the way, I heard on a video, was it yesterday? Is it the second happiest? Forgot what video it was now. The second happiest, could it be redacted on old YouTube? Lovely redacted, not in that way, not in that way. Is it Indonesia, who's the second happiest country in the world? Is it Indonesia? I don't feel it's Malaysia. I think it's Indonesia. Anyway, over a couple of years ago, I was showing, you know, from a Costco, a bag, and what did it say? Made in Indonesia, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Yes. But even though somebody had said they're classed as like a third world country, but there we are, but they are the happiest, one of the happiest. Do you see what I mean? Okay. Is everybody, there we are, following ding, ding, dong, dong, what I'm saying here, okay? So, and I do remember talking about another country. I actually give out the information because it brought it all back to my noddle. It's in one of my books somewhere. I've got a flipping few of them now. Everything I've wrote to my delicious little babies over these past 3 years. But yeah, where, you know, they have a much slower paced laugh. So in other words, they do not have any of the stress that you and I and around the world, apart from, like I said, a few countries that do not know, have had to endure. So if we go back over long time, decades and decades ago, they used to go out foraging. You know, everything used to be, there we are, so different. And then comes in, you know, when you know, they teach you to do skills, they teach you to flipping go working 9 to 5 or doing on the night shift. What are the years of those songs, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? So the point is, what's the point to what I'm making? It's like everybody who doesn't work is made to feel, and that includes the majority of the disabled as well. Sorry, my delicious little babies, and yes, I am stumbling again there, but why are those dear little babies now? Why are they disabled? Why are they disabled, my delicious little babies? Okay, ding, ding, dong, dong, there we are, just a thought. Do you see what I mean? Okay, but you will have some channels where they act like, there we are, the shark doesn't effing stink, man. I always say never. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, nobody ever knows what ones, there we are, circumstances will be in the future. Nobody knows that. So what's the point to what I'm saying? It's like ones are got to be made to feel guilty for not working. But if we go back decades, okay, you will find where before time, there we are, you know what I'm talking about, that life was so very different, okay? And then you have, what do they call them? The ones in the whistle and flutes suits, okay? And then they found a way to, there we are, to enslave everybody, my delicious little babies. You see what I mean? Now, everybody knows this. So what's the point to what I'm saying? If you go back to, you know, like the Red Indians and everything, you know, they had teepees. Actually, you can go and hire teepees. There's a place, I think, in England that you can go to a place and you can actually go and spend the night in a teepee. My delicious little babies, Kai. So what's the point to what I'm saying again? Why should anybody feel guilty if they're not working? So this is why I say, okay, again, this is a level, there we are, a brainwashing. You see what I mean? Because they have been trained. I mean, I remember, you know, I used to work, there we are, even 7 days a week. I used to bring my work home with me, you know, and all flipping invoices and everything home with me. There we are, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? So I used to work 6 days and then have the work home with me. Okay? When you do the care work, you work in 7 days a week. My delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? Okay? So what I'm saying is that if ones were just to stand still and come into themselves, then there we are, they would see before I even say it, that life would be so different. But they too have been trained, but yet they're quite happy to put down anybody who doesn't want to work. Why should ones go out to work for peanuts, for a pittance? Why should ones have 2 or 3 jobs, and the ones who make a lot of ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching are usually either cut corners, I've said it before, or they're doing their dirty work now then for the masters, isn't it? Right? So let's get it, there we are, correct now. So when they stand there on the videos or sit their arse down on the videos and criticise anybody who doesn't work, whether somebody, for whatever reason, cannot work, whether it's due to depression, disablement, whatever the situation may be, there are others who refuse to work. Why should they work? Just for the statistics of a poxy effing job centre? This is a question, simple things, a question, there we are, that I'm asking. And let's just remember, and I'll go back to this again, on our lovely Not In That Way, our lovely Richard Vobes and his lovely dear little wife to be Julia on YouTube. And bless him, he's been demonetised as well. Bless his dear little soul. The fact of the matter is this. He had somebody on months and months ago, I remember saying it on one of my videos, where he's done so much research now, your dear gentleman there we are, he's dear Richard's dear guest right, is unreal. And he clearly pointed out that anybody who is on any form of benefit, that is actually there we are, there, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. It's got nothing to do with the effing flipping poxy flipping tax man. So where are these pieces of effing shite going with this, isn't it? They need to understand now good and proper and do their own damn research. So who's the one who's brainwashed? Ding, ding, dong, dong. They can F off right flipping nicely, very effing nicely. Because they too have effing brainwashed, but they're flipping sew up their own effing holes now. And yes, I'm saying it. To whom it may concern now, isn't it? Who's quite happy just to put anybody else down out here in the world. Because they too know flipping, what is it? Ethel, flipping know all Ethel. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? And that's where I'm going to leave my video, so I'm not shouting at you, my delicious little babies. But you know what? For a lot of these, they're frightened. If their work, there we are, just stopped tomorrow. You know, it's like they're frightening them. There we are, themselves. Do you know what I mean? Okay? So we need to get this flipping straight now then, good and proper now, isn't it? So why should anybody go to work and work in a poxy job they don't want to work in? Just for the statistics. They don't sit there and say, oh, you know, what do you really want to do? Or, you know, let's, do you know what I mean? They just want you, you're on the list, then they want you effing off the list. But these ones here now who seem to think now that it's everybody's taxpayers. Okay, roll on, man. Get on your back and pedal fast. And be sure to pedal fast and do your damn research. And that's how I'm going to leave my video now, my little babies, okay? But bless you, dear Richard Verbs, because he gets some, there we are, banging guests on. Do you see what I mean, okay? And ones need to, including these now then, listen to that dear gentleman, there we are, because he's done years and years and years and years and years of research now. You see what I mean? But yet everybody's made to feel guilty about something. It's always guilt. Do you know what I mean, Marzlushtuk babies? Do you know what I mean? It pees me off, man. You know, so they see somebody or they see somebody is, you know, not in such a very good way. Oh, that one's just trying to screw the system. No, what's happened is we've all been put into the effing system. You see what I mean? I'm not shouting at you, Marzlushtuk babies. I'm just done saying what I've got to be done saying. But why must anybody feel bad about not working? Why must everybody be 150 miles an hour when they cannot spend time with their friends, with the family, with the beautiful babies who we call our sons and daughters? Some are out working 8 hours a day, then have to hire or get neighbours in to come and see to their little babies. Oh, yes, my delicious little babies, you see what I mean? It appears that whoever, you know, has all the ka-ching, 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 yeah, has a flipping effing job for everybody, isn't it? And I'm just done saying what I'm saying, but so much love to you all, my delicious little babies. How I love you so. Like I said, I'm not shouting at your damn selves, at yourselves. I'm flipping shouting at them damn selves now then. Do you know what I mean? Acting as though their own shark doesn't stink like the flipping effing better than everybody else. No, nobody's better than anybody. And I repeat that again as well. Because from what I can see, it doesn't matter whether you're this we ka-ching, that we ka-ching, or no effing ka-ching. The fact of the matter is that we all appear to be in the same effing births. So instead of ones putting other ones down now then, try and, there we are, see things from a different angle, but they do not, you see. It's only one way with them, do you know what I mean? It's like binoculars, getting some binoculars and looking at something. They're only looking in one place now, isn't it? But they're failing to look elsewhere, isn't it? Anyway, my delicious little babies, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected, and how I love you all so. And we must also remember that certain in the world, they do not work. They just dictate and give orders out. Okay, my delicious little babies. So ones also need to, there we are, remember that as well. Okay, my delicious little babies, like I say, sometimes too many cooks, you know, spoil the broth, you know what I mean, okay? And of course, you know, some in the alternative media seem to think that they're better than others and their shark doesn't stink. Well, may I remind everybody that everybody's shark stinks, no matter who you are. Okay, my delicious little babies, so much love. Lots of love. Take care. Thank you once again for listening. Goodbye.